My town forgets a person every year, and this time, it's me. Every October 1st, my town changes. It's subtle at first, a name missing from the community board, a mailbox left to overflow, a seat at the diner always empty. But by the third or fourth, they're just gone. The person. Their photos. Their house. Even the spaces in other people's memories where they used to be, all erased, like someone dragged an eraser across reality. One year it was Mr. Haverly, who ran the hardware store. The next, my best friend Naomi. When I asked about her, everyone stared at me like I'd spoken gibberish. Even her parents didn't remember her. Her bedroom was an office. Her trophies, clothes, scent, gone. Like she never existed. Like none of them ever existed. This year, the signs came for me. It started with my name tag at work. I came in on a Thursday, and it was blank. Just where Jonah should have been. My manager, Chris, looked at me strangely and asked, "Are you new here?" I laughed, thinking it was a bad joke. I'd worked there 4 years. We went to high school together. But he didn't laugh. He stared at me like I was trying to scam him. The next morning, my driver's license had no name on it. My photo, yes. My birthday, fine. But the name? Just a blank white space like it had been whited out. Even the barcode was unreadable. The clerk at the grocery store started calling me sir instead of Jonah. My neighbors stopped waving. Then my mom stopped answering my texts. By October 5th, my childhood room at my mom's house had become a guest room. All my old posters were gone. My trophies from swim team were missing. There was a framed photo of my sister on the shelf where mine used to be. She was an only child now, she said. "No offense, but I don't know you," she told me when I confronted her. "I think you need help." I screamed at her. She screamed back, then slammed the door. I could hear her calling the cops. I ran. I knew what was happening. I knew it was my turn. People stopped holding doors open for me. Kids looked right through me. I got hungry, but I didn't have a credit card anymore, or a phone plan. Everything just detached itself from me. Like I was fading out of sync. I tried checking into a motel. The guy at the desk said, "You look familiar. Have we met?" But then he blinked, and his eyes glazed. "Never mind. Thought you were someone else." I slept in the woods behind the school that night. I remembered what Naomi had said, months before she disappeared. We were sitting by the lake, and she whispered, "I think I'm next." I thought she was being dramatic. She said the town made a deal, long ago. That someone must be forgotten each year or the whole town suffers. Crops fail. Roads crack. People die bloody. She called it the bleeding year, the one time the town didn't pick anyone. 37 people died in a single week. Car crashes, fires, strokes, drownings. The mayor brought the deal back. Swore the town to silence. And every year, someone goes. Completely gone. That night, I stared into the black lake and thought, maybe she wasn't crazy. October 10th. I found my name written on a wall under the bridge, Jonah Holt, 2024, scratched over older names, barely visible. I don't know who carved them. Maybe the ones who were vanishing. A record of the forgotten. I pulled out a rock and scratched my name deeper. Deeper. My fingers bled. Maybe if I left a mark, someone would know I existed. But I know the rules now. Once the town starts forgetting you, it won't stop. You can scream, cry, write your name on every wall in the county, it won't matter. Memory isn't strong enough. History erases itself. Time moves on. Tonight's the 12th. My reflection in the window is flickering, a blur, sometimes just a shadow. The photo ID I had is gone. My clothes look unfamiliar, like they don't fit me anymore. I don't think I have much time left. I'm not even sure this post will stay up. Maybe in a few minutes, it'll vanish from your screen. But if you're reading this, please remember the name, Jonah Holt. And if you live in a quiet little town where people mysteriously move away every fall, you're not paranoid. You're lucky it's not you. This year. The words ring in my head like a funeral bell. They echo every time I breathe, every time I blink. I try to convince myself it's just mass hysteria, or some cruel collective delusion. But that hope dies when I walk into the library, my last desperate attempt to find a yearbook, a document, anything that proves I ever went to Westlake High. The librarian, Mrs. Carroll, has been here since I was in kindergarten. She used to give me butterscotch from a glass bowl by the counter. But today, she looks up and offers a tight, forced smile, the kind you give to a drifter who's walked in from the rain. "Help you, "Sure?" she asks, and when I say my name, her eyes twitch like she's trying to hold something back. Not recognition. Revulsion. She still gives me access to the archives. Maybe some part of her remembers, even if it's just a whisper in the dark. I dig through the class of 2014. The year I graduated. There's Jeremy, Sarah, Chloe, my best friend Logan. But in the entire senior spread, there's an empty space next to Logan's photo. Like they were short one student and forgot to fill it in. My name isn't in the index. My photo isn't missing, it was never taken. That's the moment it hits me, this is bigger than just memory. This town is editing reality, erasing every trace of us, one person per year. The kind of forgetting that rewrites time itself. I find a journal in the local history section. Leather-bound, dusty, buried under books about haunted Appalachia. No barcode. No author. Just a year stamped on the spine, 1938. Inside, handwritten entries. Each year, and a name. Sometimes with a short description. Martha Bellamy, fell through the ice. No funeral. Thomas Ray, wandered into the woods, never came back. His mother stopped eating. Grace Liddell, swallowed her own tongue in her sleep. But one entry from 1952 is circled in red ink, a shaky hand. It doesn't matter how they go. What matters is that they are gone. And that we are not. There's a list at the back, a column of names. Some crossed out violently. Others just faded beyond recognition. The last name written, Jonah Holt, 2024. Below it, sins must be fed. Memory must bleed. I slam the book shut, hands trembling. I feel watched, not by a person but by the absence itself. Like the town has a will of its own, a slow, breathing entity, alive in the soil and foundations, whispering to those who know better than to speak its secrets aloud. By October 14th, I can no longer enter my own house. I tried, but the key didn't fit. My mother answered the door, but her eyes filled with confusion, then fear. "I'm calling the police," she said, clutching a crucifix at her neck. My old dog, Bailey, barked like I was a stranger. I watched her clutch my baby photos in the living room, where my face was now blurry, distorted, like the ink had run or the image had melted. I screamed until my throat gave out, until she shut the blinds in my face. I slept in the cemetery that night. It was the only place left where names stayed carved into stone. But even the headstones are starting to change. October 15th. I woke up to find my phone gone. My wallet missing. The clothes on my back had subtly changed, the sleeves too long, the fabric too coarse. Like I borrowed them from someone else. Maybe someone who no longer needed them. Maybe someone from the list. When I look into puddles now, I don't see my own face. Just a blur with teeth. I am unraveling. I see others, now. At the edges of town, walking the railroad tracks, lurking behind empty buildings. People who shouldn't exist. People who have been forgotten but didn't let go. Hollow eyes. Ragged clothes. Mouths stitched with silence. They don't speak. They just watch. Waiting for me to join them, I think. Maybe they've been trying to warn me. Maybe that's all that's left of us, observers in a town that demands obedience to silence. I found Naomi again last night. Not her, exactly, but her name, scratched into the underpass in frantic spirals, under mine. Her handwriting. She knew. I swear I heard her whisper in the wind, "They remember you when you're dead." But not before. I'm writing this in the back of an old church that's long since been abandoned. My battery's dying. The lights are flickering. But if anyone sees this, please, copy it. Print it. Whisper it to someone. Tattoo it on your skin. Say my name. Jonah Holt. Don't forget me. Because once the town forgets you, completely, you don't just disappear. You become it. You become the silence. The absence. The eyes watching from windows. The flicker in old VHS tapes. The face no one remembers drawing. And when the town picks the next one, you help it choose. At first, I thought that line was metaphorical. That maybe the forgotten just became bitter watchers, phantoms clinging to what was once theirs. But I was wrong. Because I felt it. The moment I crossed from forgotten to something else, it was like sinking beneath the surface of a frozen lake. The cold wasn't physical, it was existential. I could no longer feel hunger, or thirst. My skin still carried warmth, but it wasn't mine. Time around me slowed, not for others, just for me. I watched people blink slower, breathe slower, like reality was buffering. And when I spoke, my voice didn't carry. It came out like a warped recording, a delay, a shadow of what I meant to say. Worse, they started seeing me before they remembered me. Like flickers in their peripheral vision. Like deja vu. I'd walk behind a man at the gas station, and he'd shiver, turn, and then shake his head like he'd imagined it. One night, a woman screamed when I appeared in her rearview mirror, not because she knew me, but because she saw something that didn't belong in the world she knew. I am that something now. And the choosing. It's not a ritual. It's not a list. It's an instinct. It started as dreams. At least I thought they were dreams. I saw faces I didn't recognize, new residents, kids who just moved in, quiet adults trying to disappear. And the dreams always ended the same. One face would go black, like spilled ink devouring a photo. And when I woke up, I'd see them the next day. Not in dreams. In real life. At the bakery. On a jog. Smiling in the sun. And I'd know. They were next. I don't get to stop it. I've tried. I screamed at them, wrote warnings, smashed windows to get their attention. But it's like shouting through a mirror. They only see a stranger. A ghost. A trick of the light. And every time I try to resist the choosing, every time I try to defy the town, it punishes me. The first time, I lost the sound of my voice for a week. I could move my lips, but no air passed through. The second time, my reflection disappeared. I watched others walk by mirrors, their faces perfect, clear, but I was a smudge, a distortion, a static in the glass. The third time? It brought Naomi back. Or something wearing her face. She stood at the end of my alley, hands limp, head tilted, eyes blank. And when she opened her mouth, her jaw cracked far too wide, her voice layered with mine. Jonah, stop resisting. Or we'll take someone you loved. The lips didn't sync with the voice. The eyes didn't blink. She didn't walk away, she just vanished. I never tried to resist again. Now the dreams come every week. Faster. Stronger. More faces. And I know the town is getting hungry. I can feel it swelling like a storm behind the hills. I see it in the way lights flicker even during the day. In the way the wind carries whispers that sound like crying and laughter at the same time. In the way people forget their own names for a split second, only to shake it off like a sneeze. The town is growing. I've watched it spread. The next town over, Hollow Ridge, is starting to forget things. The mayor's daughter vanished last week, and no one speaks her name. Her bedroom is for rent. Her mother is smiling too wide. Too rehearsed. I drove past a school and saw a child staring at me through the window, eyes far too old for her face, mouthing the word, soon. So I've accepted what I am now. Not a man. Not a memory. A function. An arm of the thing. I don't eat. I don't sleep. I exist only to observe, to follow, to help it choose. Tonight, I saw you. You were at the diner. Laughing too loud. Existing too brightly. A fresh name. One not yet etched in the town's flesh. And I'm sorry, I truly am, but the choosing has already begun. You'll feel it soon. That flicker when you walk past mirrors. That tug in your gut when someone says your name but it sounds wrong. That moment when your house keys stop working and the barista forgets your coffee order after 5 years. It starts small. But then the cracks spread. Your photos will fade. Your voice on voicemails will stutter and skip. Your loved ones will forget your birthday. Then your name. Then your face. And if you try to run, you'll find yourself circling back. Because this isn't a curse. It's a cycle. And eventually, you will help it choose too.